to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Jess. Today I wanted to go ahead and do my BooktubeAthon TBR. Now, I am trying to get that goal of reading 7 books. So I do have 7 books here with me, and some of them, I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like one of them especially is just a little too big, and I'm going to go ahead and start with that one first. The book that I'm going to begin the BooktubeAthon is actually a book that I rented from the library because I didn't own it yet, and that is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I'm really excited to read this, but I wanted to go ahead and pick this up because my local library had no Brandon Sanderson stuff except for this book, but I've heard it's really great. My husband's read it, said that he loved it, so this is a book that I'm going to start with and hopefully have a little bit of time each day to finish it because this is quite a hefty book, so we'll see, but I am really excited to go ahead and read this one. Now the next book I have on here is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I'm really excited to read this. People have been talking about this for a really long time. Like, this is a super hyped book for me that I'm just like, I don't know, should I read it? Like, a lot of people are saying it's really great, but that tends to be a thing that I'm not really into. But I do have another series by Jay that I wasn't super big on. I mean, I kind of liked it, but I wasn't like really into it, so I was nervous about reading this one. But it is very hyped, so I did want to just go ahead and finally read it. Like, what better time than to do it for BooktubeAthon? So this is the second book that I'm going to be trying to read. And I feel like this is a good choice because it has all of the drawings and things like that in it, and it'll really keep my attention, so we'll see how it goes. Now the next book I have on here is actually a reread for me. It is A Wrinkle in Time. It's the adapted and illustrated version by Hope Larson. I loved this book when I read it. I read it in like a half an hour, that's how good it was, but it is really just an illustrated version of A Wrinkle in Time, so I wanted to go ahead and include this because it is a shorter book, like it's a quicker read, but it's still very interesting, and I definitely need a good reread of this. Now my next pick is actually a manga, and it is Dimension W. I have started this but never finished it because, like, as you guys know, I really like anime, but this show is one of my very favorites, so I tend to just rewatch the show instead of reading it because most of the mangas I own, I've also seen the shows, and I just really like having the physical copies of them if I ever do want to read them. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one. This is the first one. I don't own any other ones, but I think it'll kickstart my desire to want to go ahead and finish the series, to pick all of them up. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read this one, and I just love manga. I really honestly do. I know they get like a bad rap for some reason, and I don't understand why. I don't know if it's just people don't really understand them or don't like them or what, but I absolutely love it, so I'm very, of all the books that I'm reading, this is probably the one that I'm most excited for. And the next book that I have here is actually a gift from a friend. It is Snow White, a graphic novel by Matt Phelan, I don't know how to pronounce that. But this is, once again, just another graphic novel. I love graphic novels. I think that they're a lot of fun to read. They're a nice break from like the big thick novels that I usually read. So I did want to go ahead and include this because I think it'll be fun to just kind of throw it in there and, you know, have like a nice break from reading Elantris, which is going to take up like 98% of my time during this BooktubeAthon. Now when I heard comics could be included in this, of course I went ahead and added all of my Big Trouble in Little China comics. I am obsessed with this. I love the show. It's my favorite movie of all time, aside from Howl's Moving Castle. Two very different movies, but I really love these. I cannot wait to reread these. I've read these probably like 3 or 4 times, but every single time I read them, you can just find me in a corner laughing somewhere while I'm doing it. So this is very exciting for me, and I'm so glad that we can read comics because it just gives me an excuse to read more of them, and yes, I'm very excited to read these. Now the last book I have here, I wasn't going to include. I was actually going to try to grab a different book. I had a different book in mind, but when I saw this at the library, this is one of the books that I am most highly like wanting to read. Like, I need to read this. I saw it on Goodreads. Somebody had started reading it or recommended it, I don't remember, but I saw it, and it is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. Now the description of this book on the back, one of the little blurbs, is this book is Alaska. Now I am very nostalgic for having grown up in Alaska. I do miss it all the time. So the fact that this book is literally just Alaska in a nutshell just sounds so amazing to me. It's also very short, so I think it'll be good for BooktubeAthon, but I cannot wait to read this. This is just about people's experiences there. I believe it's like a family and the struggles that they go through, and the main character trying to break away from what she's expected when, you know, from living there. So in more ways than one, this book just absolutely appeals to me. It's kind of a little bit like what I did. Like, I left and kind of went out on my own, and I cannot wait to read this. And also the cover is super beautiful. I know there's like the library plastic on it, but I hope you guys can see it. I just am so excited to read this book. Alright guys, that's it. That is my BooktubeAthon TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am looking forward to so much to doing this. And shout out to Coffee Chatter for asking me if I was gonna do it, because I didn't even know that this was a thing. Like, I had no idea. I scrounged like last minute to like trying to find like the books that I wanted to read, and you know, kind of like planning on like how I'm gonna do it, because I mean, honestly, you can only plan so much, and I think the whole point of it is really just to have fun and just read, and all of us be reading at the same time. So I hope everyone is going to be doing this. If you are a fellow booktuber that does follow me, please leave your TBR down below so that I can see what you guys are reading and kind of what you're thinking. I'm also going to be listing the books that I chose and which challenges that I've decided they're going to kind of coincide with, because I did sort of try to pick these, you know, because there are different challenges, so I did try to pick 7 different books for each of the 7 challenges, so I'll go ahead and list that down below. But I hope you guys are having an excellent week, and I will see you guys in my video on Friday. Bye!